All right, well, good morning, everybody. It's good to see you all. I'm glad to be here sitting next to Brother River. I'm traveling today to visit family, and they were gracious to let me swing by and join you from their space here. I'd like to talk today about Bodhisattvas, Bodhisattva work, Bodhisattva vows. And so that's the general topic. And it's inspired by something I encountered on social media recently. A person that I follow who is a Japanese Zen, a Western priest in the Japanese Zen tradition, who shares artwork. They take photos. This person takes photos and digitally writes on them some message, either an original short message of his own or a quote from a well-known Zen or Buddhist teacher or scripture. And the one that that inspired me for today was an original quote of his. His name, before I forget, is Shindo. I don't know the rest of his name. That's all he lists as his profile. But the quote was, "All good bodhisattvas go to hell." And this made me chuckle, the same as you just did, and also really appreciated the well done double entendre here, as folks, most of us, I think, if not all of us, having lived, grown up in a largely Judeo-Christian cultural fabric, we have this notion of hell that he was playing on when he did that, while at the same time interspersing the Buddhist notion of hell, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But from our Christian cultural understanding, we think of hell as a place of eternal torment. And why would anybody good go to hell? Of course, the idea that we've been told over and over again is bad people go to hell. Bad people go to hell because they're going to be there forever. Well, in the Buddhist conception, there are heavens and hell realms as well, but they are not permanent, and they are places of existence and even of teaching and training that we eventually leave. We could be there for a very long time. We could be there for a short duration, and I'll talk more about that a little bit later. But I want to go back to the idea of the bodhisattva. The bodhisattva is a word from the Sanskrit that means awakened being. And it generally refers to, as far as the famous bodhisattvas, the celestial bodhisattvas, like Guan Yin, the bodhisattva or embodiment of compassion, also known as Avalokiteshvara. Kashirigarbha or Diatong Vung, the bodhisattva who is the patron bodhisattva of children, of travelers, of all beings in the hell realms. And we'll talk more about him in a little bit. But these are beings who have stopped just short of final awakening to be able to help other people awaken. If we use the very common Buddhist metaphor of awakening or enlightenment being the far shore of a river or a sea, and that the Dharma is a raft that we use to get there, you can think of a bodhisattva as somebody who gets all the way to the other shore and says, now that I know how to get here, I'm going back, I'm getting a bigger boat, and I'm bringing as many people with me as I can, before I step off the boat and just go on my awakened way. And so the work of the bodhisattva is to help as many people as possible reach the other shore, to reach awakening, to liberate and free themselves from the suffering, the reality of which was the basis of the Buddhist teachings, that there is suffering in this life, but that we can free ourselves from it. And so the bodhisattva tradition, there are these celestial bodhisattvas, these icons, or these epitomes of aspects like compassion, wisdom, generosity, service, and so forth that we think of, that we envision, and that we aspire to be like. But in our East Asian Mahayana tradition, out of the Chinese Tiantai tradition, we inherited what we call in the Zen tradition the Bodhisattva vows. The idea that we ourselves are going to practice being bodhisattvas. And those vows, to recap, if you haven't heard them, or if you have, just as a reminder, are 4 vows. First one is, sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them all. Second one is, deluding passions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them all. The third one is, Dharma gates are limitless. I vow to enter them all. And the fourth one is, the Buddha's way is unsurpassable. I vow to attain it. In our practice as Mahayana Buddhists, we take on these bodhisattva vows as aspirations and directions for what we are doing. We are working to awaken not just ourselves, but to help as many people as we can awaken as well. And there is a somewhat self-serving aspect to this, and that is that helping other people helps us. Because the more we wake up, the more we pay attention to our life and our circumstances and the reality that we're a part of, the more we realize that whatever one of us does affects all of us to some degree, or whatever one of us doesn't do affects all of us. And so it benefits everybody if we try to help as many people as possible. Okay? We likely will not succeed in saving everybody. There's so many beings throughout this universe, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. This isn't some lofty goal that is unachievable with the idea that we shouldn't even make the effort. It's lofty on purpose so that we don't stop doing it. There are always beings who need saving. There are always beings who are suffering. We are among them ourselves. And so the work never ends. We are always wanting to work to help others, to serve others, to get this big boat, get as many people on board as we can, and get across to the other shore. And so bringing this back to the hell realms, in Buddhism there's a cosmology of 6 different realms of existence, including the heaven realms and the hell realms and the human realm that we are in. But we can think of these either literally as realms that we exist in different lifetimes, or we can think of them also as figuratively, as states of mind in whatever lifetime we're in. So in this lifetime, when we are in a place of peace, we are experiencing a heaven realm. When we are in a place of suffering, we are experiencing a hell realm. And however long it lasts, whether it's a short burst of pain and then we're free of it, or whether it's a long-term suffering that we're experiencing, we are frequently in hell realms. Sometimes we manage to get out of those through our own efforts, but very often it's through the help of others, through the compassion of others. Compassion in Sanskrit and Pali is karuna, but the English word we inherit from the Latin, compassion, which literally means to suffer with. And we might hear that and think, well, why would we want to do that? Why, we get this misery loves company idea. Well, if they're going to suffer, I guess I'm going to suffer with them. But that's not what it means. It's about helping bear the burden of suffering. To suffer with is to help carry that burden. If somebody's carrying a burden of suffering that they're unable to put down, we can help them carry it and lighten their load. Think about one person trying to carry a 100-pound weight and how difficult that is. But if 2 people are doing it, now it's only about 50 pounds per person. If 4 people are doing it, it's about 25. If you could manage to get 100 people carrying this 100-pound weight, it's only a pound each. The more people that are working together to relieve suffering, the lighter the load is for everybody involved. And so that's the all good bodhisattvas go to hell, is that if we are trying to live up to our bodhisattva vow of helping to save all beings, ourselves included and everybody else, then in doing so, we're going to step into hell realms. We're going to step into the sufferings of other people to help carry their loads, just as they do step into ours to help us carry our loads. And it doesn't take a vow to do this. We do this all the time. Anytime we help somebody, we are living out the Bodhisattva vow to help save all beings, starting with this one right here that needs my help right now. And so those are my thoughts today, inspired by that very witty statement, all good bodhisattvas go to hell. Well, we all do, all the time. And we just have to recognize that when we're there, we can work to help ourselves out. And when we see other people there, we can work to help them out. And in doing that, we are living the Buddha's way. Thank you, everybody.